Hello everyone, my name is Shetani, and welcome to episode 13 of Cheetah Chat. There's no one way to be part of the furry community. Since furry is a subculture made up of people with similar interests, some activities are popular with a lot of us. However, remember that you don't have to attend furry conventions to be considered a real furry. Furcons are loud, hustling, and bustling places with a lot of sights, sounds, and strangers. If that doesn't sound like your idea of a good time, rest assured, you're not alone. This video is geared towards people who are interested in seeing what a furry convention is like, but may have a few questions that they need answered before they decide whether they would like to attend one in person. Furry conventions are ticketed public events that are usually held over the course of a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, though some can last for even longer. Big cons tend to be hectic and even a little chaotic, but you can rest assured that there's always something to see and do. Littler cons don't have as much going on, but they're better for hanging out and chatting with people. Which con you pick for your first really depends on what you would like to get out of the convention experience. If you've been to any kind of fan convention, say an anime or a comic convention, you'll find that furry cons share a lot of similarities, the main difference being the subject matter. You don't have to be a furry yourself to attend a furry con, though I would hope that you have at least a passing interest in anthropomorphic animals. Why would somebody pay to go to a furry convention if they didn't even like... Anyway, furry cons are for people of every gender, race, nationality, orientation, ability level, young and old from all walks of life. You'll meet all kinds of people at furry conventions, reflecting the great diversity that there is within our community itself. Some countries have minimum age restrictions on their conventions, which I honestly wish the United States would implement a little bit more. So you'll want to check out the convention's website ahead of time to learn their policy on minors. There's no upper cap on the age range though, so sure, grandma can come too. Like other events, you will need to register and pay for entry to a furry con. These fees go towards the cost of running the convention itself, and registration ensures that the con is kept safe for all attendees. Your entry pass for furry cons comes in the place of a laminated cardstock or hard plastic badge that needs to be worn around your neck or elsewhere visibly on your person the whole time you are in con space. Make sure you don't lose it, as you will need to pay for a replacement. You can write any name you want on these badges, though most people will go for their persona name or online handle so people can recognize them while still maintaining a bit of anonymity. Speaking of payment, you can expect to spend in the range of $50 to $75 for a weekend pass. You can also buy one-day passes at the convention for a markdown if you'll only be going 1 or 2 days. Badges can be purchased when you get to the con, though I recommend that if you know for sure that you'll be going ahead of time, to pre-register for the convention online. Not only will you save money, but you'll also save time not having to wait in a longer reg line to pick up your badge when you get there. You'll need a photo ID which matches the name that you registered with in order to pick up your badge. Furry cons will have a dealer's den, which is a large expo center for furry artisans and crafters to sell their self-made goods. You can expect to find things like art prints and posters, stickers, buttons, clothing of all kinds, plush toys and figures, body pillows, and even more, all themed around anthropomorphic animals. You'll also find paraphernalia for the care and creation of fursuits, fursuit parts, and even pre-made fursuits that you can pick up and wear right there at the convention. At bigger cons, the dealer's den can be enormous. I know at Anthrocon, it takes me close to 2 hours to see the whole thing. My tip for this is to start at one end of the room and go aisle by aisle, so you make sure not to miss anybody's table. If you'd like to know more about FurryCon dealers' dens and how to make the most out of your time there, I recommend watching my previous video on the subject. The Artist's Alley is where furry artists will sell their existing art and take commissions at the con. If you're looking to get some custom art drawn of your character, this is the place to be. Since most of these commissions have to be completed before the weekend is over, they tend to be on the smaller side, things like sketches and badges. I did a 2-part video series on furry badges if you'd like to check that out and learn more. FurCons have schedules jam-packed full of events and things to do. The convention will put out a schedule on their website a few days or weeks before the convention starts. I highly recommend that you check out the schedule before you even go to the convention, and make note of all the events that stand out to you that you think you would like to do. Especially for first-timers, this helps keep you on task and avoid just standing around, feeling awkward, and not really knowing what to do. These events are going to be where you're going to meet other people that share the same interests as yourself. As a first-time con attendee, I recommend that you go to the opening ceremonies, which is going to be the very first event of the convention. Here you'll get to know the con staff, guest of honor, charity, and learn a little bit more about what to expect over the weekend. It's a great way to start off your convention experience, though get there early because seats do fill up fast. Panels make up the meat and potatoes of a convention's programming. These can have very diverse formats, but usually take the form of a speaker giving a lecture or a workshop on a topic that they enjoy, or folks getting together to chat and share knowledge on a common point of interest. For the most part, panels will be themed around subjects common to the furry community. You can expect to see panels on things like art, writing, fursuit making and performance, anthropomorphic characters in media, puppetry, and meetups of furries from different species. Though this isn't always the case, as we know, the furry community is made up of a diverse group of people with varied interests. As long as a furry enjoys it, any topic can be related to furries. Some of the best FurryCon panels I've attended have been the more expected fare, like Lion King and feline furries, but I've also been to some really great panels about needle felting, tea tasting, and even one where we just painted each other's nails for half an hour. Those who want to host a panel at a FurCon need to apply and be selected by the con's programming staff. There's only so many hours in a day, so panel slots can be quite competitive. Also, keep in mind that the panels you see at FurryCons are all volunteer run. Panel hosts offer up their valuable time that they could be spending having fun at a once-a-year event just to put on a presentation for the enjoyment of their peers. So the next time you go to a FurryCon panel, make sure to thank your host. Each year, the con chooses a guest of honor, someone notable for their contributions to the furry community, who will give a few panels at the convention based on their field of expertise. The convention will also sponsor a charity, usually having to do with animals or disadvantaged people in the community where the con is held. Art and valuable items are auctioned off during the convention to benefit the charity. Donations are also collected over the weekend to help them out as well. The Masquerade is a main stage FurryCon event that is essentially a talent show. Singers, magicians, comedians, musicians, and even more diverse talents are showcased here for the whole convention to admire. FurCons will also have a games room where you can hang out and play all sorts of games, from tabletop to PC and console, and sometimes even arcade games. You can also enter gaming tournaments to have fun and win prizes. Fursuiting is our community's form of cosplay, and of course, there are FurCon events tailored just for fursuiters. However, just like cosplaying, not all furry fans choose to fursuit. Contrary to what the internet might have you believe, studies put the figure of furries who own a fursuit at about 20% or lower. Even at a FurryCon, fursuiters are the minority. Most of the people you see walking around will not be wearing any sort of costume at all. So no, you don't need to have a fursuit to go to a FurryCon, and yes, you will still have a great time without one. Take it from someone who owns a fursuit. I myself have a 100% easier time having fun at a furry convention when I'm not sweating my ass off, can actually see and hear what's going on around me, and don't have to worry about making sure that I look pretty for pictures. That said, I would be remiss not to mention the Fursuit Parade. This time-honored tradition of furry cons is fun for participants and viewers alike. Fursuiters march in a designated path around the convention space while people line up on the sides to wave and take pictures. Some furry cons have done away with the parade in lieu of a massive fursuit group photo and mingle where the fursuiters kind of just hang out and walk around. Each has its pros and cons, but that's a topic for another day. For both of these events, you do need to have a fursuit in order to take part. Come on, let us at least have one event that's just for us. If you're looking to have your picture taken and you don't own a fursuit, check to see if your furry con of choice has a photo booth. Previously unique to larger cons, but now growing in popularity, this is, again, a group of volunteer photographers who use professional equipment and backdrops to take photos of FurCon attendees entirely free of charge. This is great for folks to get some pics while avoiding overheating in a big room full of other sweaty costume wearers, as well as to ensure that you'll have at least a couple nice shots of yourself at the convention where your face is not being blocked by somebody else's giant ears. A fun bonus is that the FurryCon photo booth will often have props or backdrops that fit with the convention's yearly theme. One thing unique to furry conventions is the Fursuit dance competition. Fursuiters get on stage and strut their stuff to music, and the best one will walk home with a prize. Some cons will also have Floor Wars, which is a dance battle style competition pitting individuals or teams against each other, and which a fursuit is not required for participation. Are you not the performing type but still wanna get your groove on? You can hit up the late night dances that are held every night of the convention. These last into the wee hours of the morning, with different fandom DJs providing your auditory accompaniment. FurryCon dances are rave style, so expect glow sticks, strobe lights, and lots of loud music. The dances are among my personal faves, and I always make sure to hit up at least one at every furry convention that I attend. Do note that you're going to see a lot of people letting loose and getting up close and personal with each other, so these events are not for the younger crowd. The questions I hear most are from people who ask how they will have a good time at a furry convention if they're shy to make friends, they have social anxiety, or they're going by themselves. One of the most important things to remember is that everyone at a furry convention is there for the same reason, to have fun and socialize with friends. If you remember, one of the first things I said in this video is that going to conventions is not something that all furries do. Therefore, you can be assured that everybody at a furry con is there because they want to be there and socialize. I mentioned panels and events earlier. Going to these can be good icebreakers. And if you're an introvert, don't worry. There will be hundreds of other people at the convention who are extroverts and will be more than happy to come up and start the conversation with you. Just get yourself out there into the con space, do some events, and I guarantee you, by the end of the weekend, you'll go home having made some new friends. As a small side note, something that I come across a lot and have experienced personally is people getting starstruck or nervous to talk to fursuiters, especially if that fursuiter is a person that they recognize from online. Please, I beg you to remember that I and all the other fursuiters out there are regular people just like yourself. We go to cons because we want to talk to people and make friends too. Keep in mind that most fursuiters have really limited vision and hearing in their suits, so they may not be able to tell if there's a person on the other side of the room who wants to talk to them. Furries aren't celebrities. Please don't put us on a pedestal. Just go up to that fursuiter, give them a wave, ask them for a hug or to take a picture, and ask them how their convention's been going. It's as simple as that. As I mentioned earlier, furry cons have off-the-wall schedules, with tons of exciting and fun events going on each day. This is why most people who attend furry conventions choose to stay throughout the entire weekend, so that they can maximize their fun. Many people travel out of state or even from different countries across the world to go to their favorite furry conventions. If you don't live within driving distance of your con of choice, or if you would simply prefer to not have to commute back and forth each day, booking a hotel room is the way to go. Much of the detail regarding hotel rooms is very, very specific to each furry convention. You really have to do your own research on the particular policies of the con that you're going to be attending. However, I will do my best to try and give some general advice here. The bigger furry cons will sometimes have a deal with one or more hotels in the area. They will give you a code to book with or a link on their website to book your room through and get a discount. Some cons have very high competition for hotel rooms, and the best ones can sell out literally within minutes. Anthrocon, I'm looking at you. For smaller cons, this generally won't be a problem though. You don't have to stay at the con-affiliated hotel. You can book a different hotel, an Airbnb, or even just sleep at your house if you live close by. Room capacity is based on bed size, and typically no more than 4 people are allowed to a hotel room. I cut my teeth on anime conventions where they don't really care about occupancy, and I was very surprised when I started going to furry conventions and found out that yes, they do check, and you can be kicked out of the convention if you are found to be exceeding the maximum hotel room occupancy. There's no minimum number of people to the room though. You can just stay in the room by yourself if you prefer. Most furries will choose to group up for hotel rooms since this 1, saves you money, 2, makes securing your room spot easier, and 3, helps you to make new friends or have fun with people that you already know. There are websites such as conroomies.com where you can look online for people who are going to the same con as you, who are seeking room shares or even ride shares. You can also look on the convention's official channels on their website, their Facebook groups, or even Twitter, Telegram, and Discord groups for your specific convention. In researching for this video, I did find out that there are some European fur cons who will assign you hotel roommates if you cannot fill up a room using your own group. Again, make sure to research the policies of your specific hotel and convention before you attend. Booking a hotel room is a good idea if you're going to be fursuiting or cosplaying, as furry cons won't have a place for you to change into your costume at the convention. There is the Fursuit lounge, but that's just for fursuiters to have a private place to take off their head, cool down for a little while, have some water, and take a break. You can't actually disrobe in there. Fursuiters usually get mostly or fully into suit in their hotel room and then walk over to the convention. Though I myself have suited up in public bathrooms and even parking lots when I did not have a hotel room at my disposal. I was asked about parking, but honestly, this varies so much between conventions that all I can advise is to look on the website for the con or the hotel for specifics. Some of you may have heard about room parties going on at furry conventions. These are 100% organized and run by the attendees themselves. They are not official con events, and the convention has nothing to do with them. Some cons have a designated party floor where all of the people who are going to be hosting parties will be staying. So you can literally go from room to room on that floor to all the different parties being like, yo, what's up? If you're interested in hosting a party at the furry convention that you'll be attending, you know what I'm going to say by now. Make sure that you check the website for your convention to learn about their policies regarding this. In my personal experience, it is a sad but true fact that you kind of do need to know people in order to get invited to FurryCon parties. However, this is not as difficult as you might think. Like I mentioned earlier, it's in your best interest to join Telegram groups or Discord chats related to the convention ahead of time, so that you can start networking and making friends. You can even ask there if people know about any parties that are going to be going on. Something else that you can do is search on social media. I like to search on Twitter for the name of the convention, their hashtag or their Twitter @ and terms like party, and sort by latest. Sometimes there will be flyers posted on the walls or handed out during conventions, so make sure to look out for those. One of the things that I get asked a lot is, how much does it cost to go to a furry convention? To answer that, I have some questions to pose to you. Did you check the con's website to see how much they charge for registration? Are you going the whole weekend or just 1 or 2 days? Remember that pre-registering online can save you some money. What's your transport situation? Punch your home address and the convention's address into Google Maps and see how far you'll be traveling. If you're driving or carpooling, you're going to need enough money to cover gas and tolls, plus snacks. Are you taking public transport like a bus or a train? How much do tickets cost in your neck of the woods? Will you need to be transferring or anything like that? Same thing if you're going to be flying by plane. You'll have to do research into the cost of plane tickets from where you are to the convention. Don't forget to factor in the cost of a cab or an Uber from the airport to the convention and back. By the way, when you're making your transportation budget, don't forget that you have to budget both ways, to the convention and back home from the convention. Speaking of which, where are you going to stay? If you live close enough to commute to the convention, obviously sleeping at your own house will cost you $0. Otherwise, you're going to have to start to look into getting a hotel room. How many nights do you want to stay? What type of room will you be staying in? Are you going to be rooming with other people to cut costs? Make sure that you pay your share of the hotel room or you get the share from the other roommates before everybody arrives at the convention. Don't forget about feeding yourself. You need to have at least 2 square meals every day of the convention. What and where do you plan to eat? Some cons will have a dining guide that lists a bunch of eateries within walking distance of the convention. Check if your hotel room has a fridge or a microwave. You can save a great deal on food costs by hitting up a convenience store when you arrive in the con city and stocking up on basic supplies like bottled water, granola bars, sandwich fixings, and other things for quick and easy meals. Also, if you do eat out, it's super convenient to be able to bring leftovers back to your hotel room and have them again the next day. What are you planning to buy at the convention? Are you just going to pick up some small things like a t-shirt and some buttons? Or are you planning to splurge on big ticket items like a fursuit? Are you just buying for yourself, or are you going to want to get gifts for friends too? All of these will have an effect on how much you budget for personal spending at the convention. If you want to commission a particular artist who's going to be there, or if you want to pick up merch from a certain vendor who is at the con, make sure that you check out their pages beforehand to see what type of at-con offers they will have and how much those things are going to cost. In a previous Cheetah Chat episode, I talked about how to have fun at Anthrocon, and while many of those tips are tailored to the Anthrocon convention, a lot of them can be applied to furry cons in general, so I do recommend checking that out as well. Finally, you may be wondering how to find out about furry conventions near you. Thankfully, our trusty friend Mr. Google is here to help. Simply type in furry convention and the name of your state or country to find out if your local area has any furry cons. Furrycons.com has a list of many fur cons worldwide, and there's even an interactive map on WikiFur. I'll have links to both of these in the description. As you may recall, furries travel all around the world to go to conventions that they love, so as long as your wallet can support it, don't be afraid to expand your horizons beyond your own backyard. At the time of this recording, in-person furry conventions worldwide are still on hold due to the global pandemic. Nevertheless, many of our favorite cons have started going virtual with online conventions that you can attend from the comfort of your own home. I myself have found great joy in hitting up the online con circuit and have even started hosting panels at virtual conventions. You can check out the links to those somewhere up here. Nevertheless, I hope you've learned some things from this video that you can put to use if and when you decide to join us furries at a convention near you. Cheetah Chat is powered by T. A big thank you goes out to Strasia Van the Cheesin, Illumination Cyberware, Nico, and Gabe for sponsoring my cup of tea for this episode. Today I am drinking the Chai Spice Loose Leaf Blend from Stash, which was graciously gifted to me over the holidays, in this custom printed Cheetah Cub mug that I also received as a present. I cannot express how grateful I am to all of you for continuing to support and stand by me over this past year. It's not exactly coincidence that the last Cheetah Chat episode was in March of 2020, and I'm sure I don't need to mention that I have encountered some setbacks and hurdles over this past year. People like you stepping up and showing your support is the reason that I'm able to be here in front of you all today, so thank you. If you would like to help support Cheetah Chat, consider buying me a cup of tea on Ko-fi. You'll get a shout out in the next episode, and your support enables me to continue making Cheetah Chat videos like the one you just watched, so that I can share my knowledge and experience with the furry community. I know this video was really long to begin with, but it's still just a very basic primer on furry conventions. If you have any more questions of your own, or if there's something that you think that I failed to mention, please by all means go ahead and leave me a comment down below. I would love to hear what you all think of the video and help answer your questions. As always, if you like my videos and want to see more, feel free to click subscribe. And as much as I make fun of other YouTubers for doing it all the time, it seems that I really do need to tell you to hit the bell icon as well. Otherwise, YouTube won't tell you when I make a new video. What the heck? And if you think that your friends would enjoy seeing this video as well, by all means go ahead and share with them. My YouTube videos are few and far between these days, so if you really want to keep up to date with what's going on with good old Shetani, I recommend that you follow my Twitter and Instagram pages. I post a picture there every week for Fursuit Friday, and even more in between. You can also check out my website, link on screen and in the description, for news, and to see what online conventions I'll be paneling at next. I still need to come up with an outro that's less cheesy, so for now, I'll just say thank you so much for watching, and I will see all of you next time. Take care.